Here we go. Good morning. Thank you for coming. Sit nice and comfortable. Let's take a few deep breaths. And just allow our body to settle on the earth. Your shoulders come down away from your ears. Let your neck get nice and long. If your neck is tight, turn it side to side. Chin down, chin up. Relax those shoulders. And then roll your shoulders just to get your shoulder blades in your back. And bring your ribs back so they're right over the hips. So you feel that nice connection to your sits bones, settling into your roots. Hands can be anywhere in your lap that feels comfortable and doesn't feel like any work. Just relaxed. And start to bring your attention to the breath. And if you can, I know a lot of you have spring allergies and things, but if you can breathe in and out of your nose, try it. If you can't, just breathe any way that's comfortable. Allow yourself to hear the sound of your own breath. Allow there to be some expansion when you inhale. And a letting go of any tension, resistance, tightness as you exhale. We'll take a few more breaths here. And when you're ready, on an inhale, bring your hands into prayer. Allow your head to bow, acknowledging your inner wisdom as we enter into this practice. And just come back when you're ready. Today we're going to start with a nice seated forward bend, so you can very carefully just let your legs stretch out in front. And you can bend your knees a little bit and reach your arms up. And this is so you can lengthen at the ribs as you come forward into your forward bend. Look at your feet. Feel the sides of the ribs coming forward, and bend your knees enough that you can get to your toes or your ankles. And if you can get to your toes, extend the ankles and feel how that lengthens your ribs a little bit more. And I still haven't straightened my legs. And just lengthen. Now you can start engaging your quadricep muscles in your upper thigh and feel that you can gently increase that stretch in the hamstrings. One more breath. Hands under your shoulders, come on up. And we're going to bend one leg. Doesn't matter which one. If you're tight in your calves, you can roll that calf up. And inhale, lift. Exhale, twist a little bit toward that straight leg. Another forward bend. One more breath. See if you can draw the opposite hip back a little bit more. Hands under your shoulders, support your back as you come up, and switch to the other side. This is called Janu Sirsasana. It's a nice gentle twist. So you can start with the twist toward that extended leg. Again, if your calf is tight, you can roll that calf up, internally rotate. And forward. Let your ribs come away from the hips. Let your head be framed by your arms. Don't go below your arms. That actually won't help you go further forward. And breathe. Draw your navel in, pull your ribs up. Get some of those kinks out. One more breath here. Hands under the shoulders. Come on back up. Nice. I'm going to invite you to come into all fours. And we're going to warm up the back a little further. So we do a little bit of twisting. Now we're going to come into all fours. Hands under your shoulders, knees right under your hips. Your hands can be slightly wider than your shoulders actually, with your fingers turned out at 10 and 2 o'clock. Tuck your toes under, exhale, round up, lifting with the ribs first, then the hips. And then inhale, down. Yeah, lead this cow with the ribs up, head down, tailbone down, and then on the way down, drop your chest in between your arms and then drop your low back. And you don't want to go to where you're pinching. Exhale up. Inhale down. And then you can take your knees a little bit wider. Take your feet, just flatten them out, sit back. If that's too hard for you, you can do puppy stretch, which is more up here, and leave your hips right above your knees. If you don't want to bend your knees that much, you can do puppy stretch instead. Or child's pose, which is all the way back. Couple of breaths here. Expand through the side ribs. Take 2 or 3 more breaths there. Couple more breaths. Really feel that expansion through the side ribs. Inhale and exhale. One more breath. And then you can put your hands under your shoulders. And you can come back up into all fours. We're going to tuck our toes under. We're going to walk back, straighten our legs. And exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back extension. And a modified reverse swan, and you can do this anytime during the practice, is the hands to the hips. Inhale up. Inhale and exhale. Take a few deep breaths. So I'd like to start with a standing back bend. I'm just going to adjust my screen for a moment for now. So a standing back bend, you're going to let your shoulders drop. You're not going to throw your head back. You're going to lengthen. So put your hands at the base of your skull and bend your knees. Start to go backwards, but you're lengthening the back of the neck. You tuck your chin just slightly. And then take your arms up into prayer at your chest. And we're going to take our arms out in front and swing back. Inhale, exhale. So this back bend should feel comfortable. You shouldn't feel pinching in your back. Inhale, exhale. Spread your toes, bend your knees a little. That will help you use the glutes to help you open those hip flexors. And exhale down. Tadasana. Arms at your side. All right, I'm going to ask you if you have any blankets around, you may want to clear them to the side. And we'll start our vinyasa. So inhale, lift. Exhale, forward bend. Remember to bend your knees when you do your forward bend. Take good care of your back. Inhale, back extension. Get that back ready for weight bearing. Today we're going to go right down to the floor. Let's step back into plank. Ribs are up. Hands wider than your shoulders. We are going to go down and honor Mother Earth. I think she's singing right now. I heard in India, they could see the Himalaya mountains for the first time in 30 years. There's actually a picture of it on Facebook. Extend through your legs. Take your arms out, nice and wide. Lift your head, so you're up on your elbows a little bit. Bring your hands into prayer right in front of your face. And then lift your elbows and put those thumbs right under your forehead. And I want you to relax here. I want you to feel the earth beneath you. We're going to take 3 deep breaths. Jai Ma, honor our mother. Honor the earth. And think about all those things you love about nature. The flowers that are starting to come out. The birds that have come back. And definitely making their presence known. One more breath here. On an inhale, lift your head slightly. Hands wider than your shoulders. Inhale, come up in cobra. If you need to modify, please modify. Use your back on the way up and then your arms secondarily. The tops of your thighs are off the floor. Bend your elbows. Inhale, come up into all fours. Tuck your toes under. Exhale, downward dog. Arms are framed. Arms are framing the head. Turn those fingers out at 10 and 2 o'clock. Bend your knees. Walk your feet back enough so you feel that you can lengthen and lift your hips up. Draw one heel down and then the other. And we're going to look forward, step forward, right, left, inhale, back extension, exhale, forward bend, and reverse swan, and into prayer. 3 standing back bends. Inhale. Lengthen up the back of that neck. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward bend. The only difference with this round is we'll step back, left, right, and forward, left, right. Inhale, back extension. Exhale, step back into plank. And you can make a decision here whether you need your knees down to come down and up into cobra. Inhale, down. Use your back as you initially come up into cobra, then your arms. Hands are wider than the shoulders, shoulder blades in your back. Slide your jaw back, release your neck. Bow your head eventually. Exhale, draw your navel in. Now you have a choice here. You can come up into all fours or you can come up into plank. Bend your knees. Exhale, downward dog. Bend your elbows. Externally rotate the shoulders. Let your arms frame your head. Internally rotate the top of your thighs. Bend your knees. Lift those sits bones a little more. Get a little extra stretch in the back. And then we're going to shift to the right and step forward, left, right. Inhale, back extension. Exhale, forward bend. And reverse swan or modified. Inhale. And exhale. Take a few deep breaths here. We're going to work on some standing hip openers. We're going to work on high lunge, warrior 2, and peaceful warrior. So we'll start, you might want to have some blocks nearby, or one block if that's all you have, that's fine. And I'll turn different ways if I feel like the view might be better, more advantageous for you. So we're going to take the right foot forward and the left foot back with the heel up. So just straight back. So you're bending both knees, about the same, just in different positions. And the energy should be in your back glute. Your tailbone should be down and you should be up. So here's high lunge. And we're going to work our core a little bit by coming forward, but most of the energy is in the back leg. And then bend the back knee a little bit more as you come back up. And go down again. And back up. Now this time when you go up, turn the back foot sideways. Walk your right foot in so that you can see that the heel is intersecting your arch. Or you can look down, yeah, to see that. I can see it in the screen, so it's a little easier for me, I know. All right, arms out to the side. Bend both knees a little, open up your hips. Elbows and hands are below the shoulder. Bend your forward knee, make sure it doesn't go past your ankle. So we're gonna be doing some dynamic movements with each of these. So now we're gonna extend. And if you have issues with your knees and you wanna stay stationary, feel free to do that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. So stay there. I'm just going to change my position so you can see this better. So now we're going to go to peaceful warrior. So we're going to reach up. Now, don't let this get compressed. So you may want to reach your arm to the side. Keep lifting through the ribs. Even straighten your legs a little. You know, let the head be by that arm that's up in the air. And breathe. Nice. Come on up. You can switch your legs so your left foot is forward. I'm going to stay in this position. flip around to get that back heel up in high lunge. So bend both knees, tailbones down, arms are up. Breathe. Both knees are bent. If you feel wobbly, I just walked my left foot to the left, the one that's forward. And we're gonna go down, then the back knee, come up, come down, and up. One more time. And this time when you come up, turn your back foot sideways, walk your left foot in, come into warrior two. And up and down 3 times. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Peaceful warrior, head is by the arm that's up in the air. If you need to keep your arm here or not bend your legs quite as much, don't compress that right side. Arms down and bring your legs in any way that's comfortable for you. Nice job. Hands into prayer. Just feel how your hips feel differently, that you might feel a little more grounded. We're going to add those particular standing asanas to our flow. So come to the front of your mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back extension. Get ready for weight bearing. Step back. Right, left. Hands wider than the shoulders. Ribs are up a little, low back is down. Inhale, down. Lift with your back, extend out the legs. Inhale to lift, to fill the lungs. Press into your index finger and thumb. Exhale, bow your head, draw your navel in. You can come up in all fours or plank. Inhale, and then bend your knees or keep your knees bent. Exhale, downward dog. Now because we're going to take a few breaths here first, but because we're going to step forward into high lunge, when we step the right foot forward, you're going to take your leg up, get a nice stretch. If that feels like too much, leave it down. But shift your weight to the left and step toward your right thumb. You can look underneath, see what your feet are doing. And then just come back. So you're coming up into that low lunge and then settle. Release your neck and we'll go forward. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're just going to do one of those, the movement with the arms. Lift up, turn the back foot sideways. Come into warrior two. Up and down one time. And peaceful warrior. One more breath. Let that head be by the arm that's up in the air. Now to transition, so we don't hurt our knees, we're going to lift both arms up. We're going to lift that back heel and come on down. And we're going to step back into down dog. And then we'll do the other side. Three deep breaths. Feel the heat building in your body. Make sure your hands are wider than your shoulders. Press your index finger and thumb into the earth and feel the shoulder blades. Bend your knees. See if you can lift your sits bones a little more. Maybe you want to walk your legs back, your feet. Yeah, and then you can draw one heel down. You can pedal the ankles if that feels good to you. And now take the left leg up in the air, or you can keep it down and step forward to the left thumb in any way that works for you. Remember to push off that back leg. Get set, get into the glutes in the back, come up in high lunge. Breathe. And come forward. So that's a little bit of core work. Inhale, now bend the back knee. Exhale, come right back up. Feel those hips opening. Lift and turn the back foot sideways and set up for your warrior two. I'm gonna see if you can get a little wider. Try to get those shoulders level. And up and down one time. And peaceful warrior. One more breath. Feel that back hip opening. Nice. Now we're going to take both arms up. We're going to start to twist, but get that back heel up. Exhale, back into down dog. A few more breaths there. Externally rotated the shoulders. Make sure the arms are framing your head. Press into your fingers. Lift the heels of your hand, your wrist area, and get into the fingers. Make those fingers work. Both the toes and the fingers, primary responsibility as far as joints go is stability. So feel the stability when you press through the toes, and you feel the outside of the ankle and the fingertips. Step forward, right, left. Inhale, back extension. Exhale, forward bend. And reverse one. Inhale and exhale. Let's add those standing back bends back in. Inhale. Exhale. Try to flow through that. Really let your body go where it wants to go. So you feel this gentle opening through the whole front body. Bend your knees, squeeze your glutes, shoulder blades in the back, lengthening out the neck. Nice. We're going to go through this one more time. We'll just lead with the other leg. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, back extension. Step back, left, right, plank. Inhale, down. You can use your knees if you like. Up in cobra. Exhale, draw your navel in. Make sure those hands are wider than your shoulders and they're turned out at 10 and 2 o'clock. Those legs, you should be internally rotated, the heels going away from each other. Inhale, come up into all fours or plank. With bent knees, come up into downward dog. Two more breaths. Check out what's happening in the hands. You know, rock side to side. Get out of the wrists. Bend your elbows. Notice how you can get your shoulders rolled outward or externally rotated. Bend your knees. Make sure your kneecaps are facing the floor. Lift your sits bones. Draw down into the heels as best you can. Left leg up in the air. Bend that standing, or the one with the weight on it in the back, and step forward. Come up into high lunge. Make sure you feel pretty stable before you even come up. Check that out. So you can come up as slow or as fast as feels comfortable for you. Forward, inhale, swing the arms. Exhale back, bend that back knee. Lift up and turn. Come down in warrior two. Up and down. Inhale, exhale, and peaceful warrior. One more breath here. Lift your back heel, turn it as you come down to the earth and come back into downward dog. One more breath, bend your knees, lift and separate those sits bones. Get some more stretch under your ribs. Make sure you get your legs back far enough that you feel that you got a little stretch going under your armpits. Take your right leg up. Inhale. Exhale, step forward. Come up in high lunge. Get situated in that glute. The back leg is your main root. Inhale. Exhale. Lift up and down for warrior two. Up and down. Peaceful warrior. Both arms up and segue back into low lunge, back into down dog. You got to shift back to get that weight off that forward foot. Bend your knees, lift and separate those sits bones, bend your elbows, externally rotate at the shoulders. Bend your knees, step forward, right, left. Inhale, back extension. Exhale, forward bend. And reverse one. Inhale. And exhale. So today, for our standing pose, I'd like to work on tree pose. So I'm going to start with my right foot forward. And the reason I'm doing this is so you can get into your quads and realize that just going like this into tree pose doesn't really get you into the muscles in the most advantageous way for you to feel balanced and feel like the core's working and your quads are working in the standing leg and your glute. So we're going to take the right leg forward and make sure you're about hip distance as far as those legs and feet. And we're going to come up into that right leg, bring the knee up, and practice just going out to the side. Now what's supposed to happen here? You know, if you're really flexible in your hips, yes, your knee would go way out. But if that disturbs neutral pelvis and you're using this glute, then maybe not so much. Here, below the knee is better for those of you that maybe aren't as flexible or are worried about your balance. If you want to go up higher, the minute that heel hits, you have to engage on the other side. All right, so let's go back. That was like our practice run, you guys. All right, so let's go and do that same side. Here we go. Now, I like to grab my knee, if I can stand in one place. I'm on a wiggly board in my studio. Here we go. And come on up and in. Yes, I'm going to stand somewhere else. There we go. Come into prayer. Arms up if that feels better for you. One more breath. And come on down. All right, so we'll do a practice run on the other leg. So switch. Let's come up. Roll to the side. See what's happening here. Are you still in your glute? What's happening there? Yeah. And then come back. And now, get ready for your tree pose. Yeah, push that femur bone back. Set up. Make sure you bend the knee once you get that foot there. That actually helps you use your quads better and your hips. Inhale, lift. One more breath. And come on back. Nice job. I'm going to have you take your legs a little bit wide. Yeah, and we're going to bend our knees and just come into a lovely forward bend. So bend your knees as much as you can. Take your legs wide. Now, if you'd like, if your block's nearby, you could put your block underneath. Some of you need that to be in this position comfortably. Some of you don't need that. You can go very comfortably to the floor. So we're going to go wide enough that we're not feeling like we're overstretching our inner thighs. You're going to bend your knees, roll your thighs inward, and go ahead down. And if you can, whether your head's on a block or the floor, reach your arms back. Breathe. Nice strong legs, you're internally rotated, nice soft knees, quads are working, your ankles are working, your toes are helping you balance. Lift your toes so that you're activating the arch and taking a little bit of work into the arch and out of the side of your ankle. Nice. Come on back up, inhale back extension, and walk your feet in. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. Exhale, forward bend. Bend your knees going into that forward bend. And then you can straighten either one leg at a time, like I'm demonstrating, but you probably can't see me because you're upside down. And bend. You can straighten both legs and feel your back stretching. And let's bend our knees and roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. And come into prayer. So this morning, I'm going to take you back down on the mat, but in a seated position. We're going to do a nice series. I've done this series in the beginning of my class, but today we're going to do it more toward the end, or the middle to the end. So come on down. You're going to start in cross-legged. If that doesn't work for you, have your legs out in front because we're going to go there eventually anyway. So inhale, lift your spine, relax your shoulders. Feel your sits bones. You should feel that your hips maybe are a little more open than when you sat down in the beginning of class. And many of you have done this series with me before. So we're going to first round our low back, round back. Tuck your chin. Hands are nice and wide, using your fingertips more than anything on your knees. Feel, if you just use the fingertips, that the wrists are getting a little stretch. You're letting your elbow be a little bent, so you're letting those muscles just stretch. Draw your navel in. Low back stretching. Inhale, lift, and now we're going to lean back and we're going to straighten our legs in front. So go ahead and do that. We're going to do staff pose or dandasana. So roll your shoulders. I'm going to go through this nice and slow, and then it'll be a flow that we're going to do. Hands at your side. Press down. Now, I don't have very long arms, so I usually press my fingertips, bend my elbows, get my shoulder blades in my back. Some of you have long arms, so you need to bend at the elbow and make sure your shoulders don't come up by your ears, right? So Dandasana is staff pose. You can bend your knees so you can get up in your sits bones. You can flatten out your ankles, because sometimes when you're stretching the calf and the hamstring, that just feels a little funky in your low back. So you can extend your ankles. And now we're gonna lean back and we're gonna grab one ankle and then the other and come into butterfly. So this will flow eventually. Put the balls of the feet together, let the toes be free, you can wiggle them, the heels together. If you have knee issues, you can be further out. Inhale, lift. Use those arms on your legs to help you lift and get into your back. And then if you can, hinge forward. Just let that go. It doesn't have to be very far. And if you're very tight, maybe you got your hands back here behind you and you're just leaning a little bit forward, or maybe just sitting here straight is a back stretch for you, and that's fine. So do what works for you. One more breath here. And now we're going to come back up. Grab the knees, go wide. Now, when you go wide, you may want to bend your knees. So you can see a little under there, right? Internally rotate. Hinge forward. Now, some of you will be here. Some of you will be here. Some of you can go in between your first and second toe and just relax down. But make sure nothing is overstretching in the sacral area. I am actually using my hands here to help roll my thighs in. Exhale down. One more breath. Lift your head a little, get a little length in the torso. Hands under your shoulders. Push back up. Now we're going to lean back again. So leaning back helps us, and we're going to come up into boat pose. Do your best. If you need to have bent legs, then do that. So that looks this way. And then come back into cross leg. So let's just think about this sequence for a minute. Cross leg is where we rest. Feel grounded. We're going to lean forward and take our legs out into staff pose. We're going to come into butterfly. Then wide angle, boat pose, and back to here. So I just want you to visualize that. So what I'm going to do is use a breath to transition to each pose, and then a breath in each pose. So it'll move a little differently, a little faster. So lean back, inhale, exhale, staff pose. So that's the transition breath. Take another breath here. On an inhale, round your back, bring your ankles in, settle. You can put your fingers right under that big toe if that feels okay for you. Finish that exhale, that's your transition breath. And then just come forward as much as feels comfortable for you. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come up. Grab those knees, go out. Make sure the knees are bent, you're internally rotated. And exhale. So that's the end of that breath, that transition breath. Take another breath. Inhale, come back, hands go under the thighs, come up into Navasana. That's what that is. Inhale and exhale. So I'll show a little different angle on that. And another breath. So we're going to go through that one more time. Inhale, round your back, legs out. Exhale, settle. One more breath here. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, let your back round. Come into butterfly or cobbler's pose. Finish that exhale. One whole breath. Inhale. Inhale, come up, legs go wide. Exhale, settle. If you'll tighten your back, bend your knees, internally rotate. I use my hands on my big toe to roll in. Exhale, relax. Inhale, come up, hands under the thighs. Exhale, Navasana. Internally rotate your thighs so you get out of your hip flexors. Use those core muscles. Yep, that's what Navasana is about. Yes, it is. And back to cross-legged. So we're going to move on and do a seated twist. If it's more comfortable for you to sit in hero's pose, I'll demonstrate that with a block underneath. Some of you that might be more comfortable than just sitting cross-legged all the time. This is hero's pose, so I'll show that sideways too so you can see. All right, so you could sit cross-legged or in hero's pose. I'm going to stay in hero's pose since I got here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist to the right, moving from the rib cage. Your chin, your gaze is just over the center of the chest. Exhale, let all the air out. See if your ribs move. The bottom of the rib cage. You're not moving from the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. If you feel stable here and you want to take your back arm around, maybe hook it around the other side of your hip, you can do that. Get that shoulder back, elbow close to you. Yeah, it's a big stretch. Inhale, release. Exhale, rest. And inhale, come up. And go the other way. And breathe. To wrap your arm around, feel free to do that. Get that shoulder back, that elbow close. Sit tall, squeeze those inner thighs so you're not in your hip flexors, especially if you're in hero's pose. Inhale, release. Exhale, come back. So now we want to start getting ready to relax. So that's where we're going to go next. We're going to go onto our back. So make sure you have what you need to be comfortable on your back. If you feel cool at all and you need to grab a blanket, you're at home, so you can grab whatever you want. So we're going to roll down. All the way down. Something under your head. And relax. Now I will keep an eye on the time. I will ring a bell when it's time to come out. Let the earth hold you. Notice the flow of your breath. Your shoulders shoulders come down away from your ears. You may be distracted by outside sounds. There are sounds in the house, birds. Eventually just come back to the breath. Notice if there's any residual tension in the body and pay attention to it and see if it dissipates. When you are ready, slowly deepen your breath your way up back to a seated position. Yoga is a highly evolved science. It is composed of a series of steps that begins with mastering the senses and culminates in a final reunion of the mind with consciousness. Yoga is the seed, the beginning. It is also the fruit. Yoga, when properly understood, invokes the experience that lies far beyond the borders of our familiar world. Yoga is to know the knower, to know the witness, to know the one who watches your waking state, your dream state, and your state of meditation. To know this knower is yoga. Inhale into prayer. I did unmute you so I could hear you chanting on with me. Inhale. Namaste means the divine in me honors the divine and light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Pray for peace every day. Satya, Satya. Let the truth be revealed. Thank you for coming and joining me and everyone else on this Zoom call for this lovely practice of yoga. If you guys have any feedback or you just want to chat, totally up to you. Marion, you gotta fix that volume. I don't know what's going on with that. There must be something in your computer. Just go into your settings. I'm sure you have. Right? Whatever. It's good to see you. Good. Alice is all bundled up. I love it. So have a wonderful weekend, you guys. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my afternoon, my day off. I guess we're doing some kind of Zoom birthday party for my 7-year-old grandson today. Poor guy.
Oh my God.
Right. Well, my granddaughter is 10. And she did my Zoom Pilates class yesterday. It was so cute. My daughter took a video of her and put it on Facebook. It's very cute. It's on my Facebook page. So have a good day, you guys. Enjoy. Hope this brings you a little bit of peace. Bye.